for playoffs here in the China Team Championship. Day 3 of our overall event. Let's see what happens in the ZVP. Jin Green Rings take on Team LP with Rex. Blue Zerg from Jin in the top left. Bottom right, Yeshi is our red Protoss player from Team LP. As we get set up into game number 1. So just a quick reminder, you see these bars in the scoreboard on the top, the 4 bars? That's the life of each team. So each team has essentially 4 players or 4 lives. And you can revive a player. So Yeshi here and Rex, if they win a map, they will eliminate the other. Then they'll play a second map. And if the same player wins, they will not be eliminated. They'll stay out. Whereas the other guy will fall. It takes away, you know what it does take away? If you go 1-1, it takes away some of that snipe factor, right? You know, you can't snipe somebody if it's then random who you both send out against, so... Pretty interesting. Anyways, we get this set up. Game number 1. Some Zerg versus Protoss. I mean, a nice way to start, right? I think Rex against Yeshi is a pretty decent way to get things going. Swan pool early from Rex, actually. So he is actually going to go a little bit aggressive, perhaps. But this is seen by Yeshi, so he knows what's going on. Yeshi should be able to respond to this pretty reasonably, right? I mean, he shouldn't run into too much trouble against this. And as you do see, Queen just on the way up in the main. Nexus, Cybercore on the way up as well, so getting this ready to roll as we do see the probe coming out the front. And it's just going to be sat there just watching for the lings. I mean, this is 6 Zerglings, but again, Yeshi sees this coming from a mile away. Because of that, is able to kind of, well, start up a Zealot that you wouldn't usually commit into, etc. So, doing well in that regard already as GC Cybercore finishing. And of course, the next gateway can drop down in a moment or so as well. Robo in part of the wall. It's going to be seen by these Zerglings. They're just going to go for the Robo. I mean, why the heck not? It's pretty low HP at the moment. And ooh, I like that little attempt of sneaking some lings by. Rex getting a little bit cheeky from the very start of this one, as we do see the hatchery on the 3rd base. Setting up as well. That one Zergling chasing this probe back up to the top side. Zerglings continuing up to the top. The Adept is going to chase. Now just going to be seeing the Queen throwing an inject down. Adept comes in for a Zergling kill. Those feelings just running around here. Robo Facility about to finish up, and Twilight Council dropping into play as well from Yeshi. So pretty regular. I mean, maybe the Robo a bit earlier than expected, but just going to give him the chance to get into a Warp Prism, get some harassment going. We'll see what the Twilight does here, because this isn't a Twilight and a Forge. This is just the Twilight, so he could go into like a delayed Temple Archives or something, or I mean, delayed Dark Shrine doesn't really work. He could just go into obviously a Twilight upgrade as well, and whether it's going to be charged, glaives, there's a few different options there. So Depp gets in, will find 3 drones, so does a pretty good job of this right away. 3 drones down. It is just going to be a Dark Shrine dropping in from Yeshi. It's a very delayed Dark Shrine. Setting that up as we're just going to be seeing the Stalker. Cooking away the Overlord. I mean, there's an Overlord in the main base, which looks as though it probably will pick up on the fact that this is going to be Dark Templar. So currently setting up in towards that. Still a few lings just running around here and there as well. Just running into the Wolof. Just seeing what's up. Yeah, it is kind of a weird build from Yeshi. It's just kind of going to be delayed from where it should be. Rotron drops in from Rex. I mean, he's going to scout the Dark Shrine in 3, 2, 1. Dark Shrine scouted! And now, of course, he's going to be able to say, okay, well, now I put down, now I start up my lair alongside the Rotron. He hasn't got the gas for that just yet, but you also know that he needs Spore Crawlers, right? So, good scout from Rex, and should be able to respond correctly now. Spore Crawlers begin to start. There's the lair. And again, the lair's a bit late, typically. I mean, typically against Dark Shrine opening, you'd go for like a 350-ish, 4-minute-ish lair and Rotron. Obviously, this Dark Shrine is a bit late anyways, so that's not the end of the world just yet. As the first couple of, actually, Adepts orbit in here to begin with. So no DTs just yet. So 2 Adepts into the Warp Prism. They're going to be coming around the top side. Prism looking to unload in towards the main bases. I mean, okay, actually just going to unload on the sides here. If he gets the Prism in to warp into the main base, that'd be pretty huge, actually, as Rex is going to target down the Prism with the Queens. It's going to get deflected pretty easily. No Dark Templar yet, no Archon harassment. Currently just sat back and waiting as we see charge starting on the Twilight, +1 attack on the Forge. So that will continue up as we do see the Immortal DT charge and +1 all on the way out here, so continuing up with that. As you do see this Queen able to get a little bit more damage done to the Warp Prism, which is passing through into the main base. Just a couple of Adepts are going to shade forwards. The Lings are going to get a bit of a surround on this Nexus, and we'll be able to take it down. So that's a nice cancel there from Rex, taking the third base down to lane. That is obviously pretty significant. It looks like he'll get the Zealot, the Probe, and probably the Pylon too. Just trying to deal with this Adept play. On the other side, though, he is losing 3 drones of his own, so it's been a bit messy back and forth here so far. As Yeshi adds on 4 extra gateways, still has the money to rebuild a Nexus, though, so I'd expect that to come down still, and there it is. We'll see how aggressive he ends up getting with those gateways in play. Circling us down to the bottom guy side of this, see what's going to happen. Good speed starting up, and just going to see Archon, a couple of Immortals hanging out on the third base. +1 charge. All of this is going to be completed in a couple of moments' time. So, again, if there's an attempt to push from Yeshi, it should be coming in pretty shortly. Rex is going to opt to go in toward the Spire, but I'm not sure if Rex has the numbers to hold this attack off right now. It feels like he needs even more Roach Ravager. He's starting to 7 to that. This is a really nice catch, by the way. These Lings. That Archon's super low. That Archon goes down. What a catch by Rex. Wow, kills an Archon here. Corrosive Bow's going to kill the Prism. Oh my god, Yeshi. Well, now he can't attack. Now I mean, he's got 50 probes. He's probably going to have to keep building some more. There's no way he can attack without a Prism. I mean, it takes away the reinforcements. It takes away the micro potential. There is no way you can commit into that. Absolutely none, as we do see Hallucination. We'll go scout toward the main. I mean, seeing that Spire would be huge right now for Yeshi to have a bit of a heads up about the incoming Mutalisks, as Rex will move out to take a 4th base. So yeah, we're going to be back into a position now where we'll set up once again. That Spire about to complete. Just a few Ravages just poking forwards. I mean, I love what Rex has done here, though. 77 drones. He's built up into that stronger economy now. He's realized, okay, I got that Warp Prism. He backed away. There's no way he's committing. So, boom, drones. Now the Spire has been scouted. A Stargate in response. Only 6 Mutalisks I can get behind as DT's going to the main. Rex knows about them, though. Must have an Overseer, right? Yes, there's the Overseer. And there's the Zerglings. Yeah, that's a very good shutdown, actually. There's 1 DT left in the corner. Will he find it? Looks like he knows there is a second one. Really good play by Rex, actually, if you think about it. Just really on top of seeing anything and everything. Man, where's the Overseer? How did the Overseer not see that DT? That's crazy. Now DT in the 3rd base. So actually, from Rex going, like, this was pretty good for Rex, but now it's going to get a little bit messier from him. Just losing a bit more than he should have done. I guess, especially the DT that's left in the main. That's a real shame. That obviously should never really happen there. Mutalisks will not do a lot here. I mean, obviously, Yeshi saw these coming, so the preparation is good. And there's our DT back into the main. Overseer's not here. Again, it just flew out towards the 3rd base, despite there being a Spore Crawler there, because he didn't think there was any DTs left in the main. So, you know, there's no real reason. Looks like the DT might even be recalling. Something's recalling. I don't see what just yet, though. As we do have the probes going down to these Mutalisks, but I mean, honestly, not that many Mutas, and the shield batteries are doing a pretty good job of healing back up. The Mutas can only get so much done, and, well, I mean, second Stargate coming in might be a bit overkill considering the lack of Mutalisks that are really being made. Infestation Pit has been built by Rex as well, and now it gives him some options as to where he goes from here. Probably just towards Hive. Probably just towards Hive because he has the Spire. He can morph a Greater Spire and just try and survive on Roach Ravager, but it's not a great army, so he needs to start going into that ASAP to minimize the amount of time he's going to be on Roach Ravager. Rock's going to get knocked down here, and we're just going to be seeing the Phoenix going to go pick off the Overseer. Extra Baneland's going to be morphing in. Just going to be seeing the probes in trouble again. I mean, I love this. He's kept, even if it's just 4 of the Mulists alive, it's enough to come in and kill a few probes here and there. This Dark Templar's going to see this army and is going to get killed off, I believe. Next DT coming across the map. As Zerglin already chasing it. He's going to go check that upper right base where there isn't any units. These mutas will now go down. Main army fight. I don't feel like there's enough Banelings here to really make this scary, although a couple that connect quite nicely on the Zealots, and a couple of the sentries going down too. So a lot of Ravagers. Here come an extra round of Banelings. Is that enough? I mean, I'm still not quite convinced, and they're being stopped by the Ravager wall, so Rex's push forwards is fairly unsuccessful, as that's going to be a pause lag now. There we go. So a couple of Ravagers being chased down. DT's chasing as well. I think Rex just lost way too much in this and trying to pull back at the moment. It looks like he's going to be in some trouble. Jaina might be about to lose their first life of the tournament already, as we see these Banes are going to roll by. Towards this Nexus, we're going to see... Oh, they might be able to get some damage done, but how do you stop this army? I feel it's very, very difficult at the moment as a bunch of drones go down. Pulled away a little bit too late. Some Banes are going to roll into what, actually? I mean, Immortals and Archons are not really going to take that much damage from Banelings, so there's a couple more Banes rolling around, getting shut down here. Those Ravagers still getting chased over the right-hand side. I mean, Rex just does not have the numbers to clean this up, and he just lost too much getting aggressive. It's just a scenario you don't want to get aggressive in. Based foreigners, actually. He's always hanging out with them at WCS events when he attends. This is Rex from Generic Greenwings in the bottom right-hand side of the map. Our blue Zerg. Let's see if he can recover from that first game. As in the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player is Yeshi. The action zoom on the face cams, I mean, it's what you need. Is any StarCraft complete without the intense zoom in on the face of the players? I don't know what I'd do without it, to be honest. I would feel lost and lonely. I would be in despair. Ay ay ay. Go Generic Greenwing, says Zynon in the chat. I mean, obviously this is I mean, I don't want to be horrible or awful, but this is kind of the warm-up to the main event here, I feel, for Jinnair. Remember, Jinnair will have to play, well, either of these teams have to play both games today. And whoever wins, TSG is going to be an uphill battle. I mean, you've got Hero, you've got Solar, who's playing so good right now. It's going to be a real uphill battle for those guys. TSG is not going to be an easy opponent. It's crazy that TSG or Jinnair will be out by the end of the day. Perhaps both if Team LP go on an absolute rampage somehow. That'd be crazy as well. Third hatchery dropping down to the left-hand side. You guys want another fun fact about Team LP? You know what? This is a little cheeky information, really. Team LP are registered and accepted to play in the WardiTV Team League Season 9. So we'll be seeing those guys back in Team League action come November when our 9th season of the WardiTV Team League kicks off. Let me just tell you right now that the team roster for that event is looking pretty fantastic. $4,000. It's going to be a lot of fun, even more Team League for you guys. So do you see the Adept heading out into the center of the map to see what's going on in the early stages. A few Zerglings nibbling away at those low ground rocks as Adept continues down to the lower right hand side. Oracle starting to build. Adept just going to shade up again towards the main base here. The early game going to be pretty slow and steady. That's a nice drone kill. Rex did not get to build that into a Spore Crawler. Just going to see the Adept continue to pull away. It's going to shade out. No problem at all. What's up, Scorbic Acid? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime for 51 months. Appreciate it, buddy. It's going to be seen. Rex going to scout into the main base. There's a robo facility just started. I think that's on the natural, though. Phoenix is going to come in and clean that overload up, so Rex misses the robo. But, I mean, it's Stargate, and there's only so much you can have behind a Stargate, so I don't think this is super unheard of. Twilight Council is dropping down in the main base, and just getting this set up. Robo facility about to complete as well. If there's extra gates coming down, it feels like Yachi is once again going to be dropping into probably a Templar Archives this time, obviously, because he went Stargate first. So probably a Templar Archives and still head towards an Archon drop. Phoenix just nibbling away at the Overlord here. Lara's on its way up in the main base, so getting that ready to go. The Temple Archives drops down over in the main as well, so gets that ready to set up also. War Prism about to complete. Temple Archives still building. And there do go our Adepts out over to the right-hand side of the map here. Roaring dropping down on the third base location, and just going to be seeing a few extra extractors on the way out as well. Those couple lings coming into the middle and seeing what they can perhaps get done. Nexus, Forge. Continue to build here. A few High Templar will warp in underneath this Warp Prism. And of course, we get ready for this Archon drop harassment as two Adepts go into the natural expansion at the same time. This is that typical move we've seen kind of developed by Korean players over the last couple of months, and it's really just become the norm in this. I mean, look at that position between the Spore Crawl and the Minerals. 6 drones could have been, well, it is going to be 7, as he target fires at the end there. And Rex is taking a beating once more in the early stages, being kept behind a little bit. So 7 drones down, and just going to be seeing the modal over here as Corona boosting away. Prism still having a look to see what it might get up to. Oracle going after a few of the Zerglings, and again just getting a little bit of damage here so far. Couple of Archons just continuing in the center of the map. We're just going to see a couple of Creep Gemas going to be cleaned out as well. Still a job well done at the moment. Just, I really feel, I mean, cancels the 4th base twice over. That's 150 minerals just, you know, given away almost. So we're going to be seeing the Zealots, the Sentries, gathering up on that 3rd base. Zealots moving out as well. Phoenix gonna fire away at that Overseer, and again just setting up into this where Yachi is getting aggressive. We see a bunch more units warping in. Zealots, High Templar, a couple of Archons. And this army is starting to push in towards this creep spread here. A few Swarm Hosts with Roaches over on the right hand side, and well, here we go. A little bit of creep spread being picked away at the moment. Hatchery will go down, and I just don't know what Rex has to really fight this. I mean, the Swarm Hosts are here. He needs to just kind of go with this, though. He needs to kind of just go for this at the moment. Otherwise, this is going to be troubling. Going to be seeing Zealots, Archons, and Mortals out in the center of this army. Gonna press forwards here. Infesta has a fungal growth available, and the problem is Rex is being put down on 3 bases as Yachi's expanding, so Yachi has no reason to push up this side. Absolutely none. As Rex comes down, he's gonna try and take a fight. Problem is when he's fighting with this Roach Ravager army and he's built Swarm Hosts, he should absolutely be looking to use the Locust as the buffer for the Roaches. Right now, the Roaches were kind of the buffer for the Swarm Hosts almost, and I mean the Locusts aren't even gonna get to land here. Everything's kind of going a little bit wrong for Rex. I mean, his supply is up at the moment. He will Nidus across the map. I don't really know why he's still chasing, though. I feel like chasing here is... I mean, the Warp Prism turned around towards the third base. I'm just not convinced by the chase being that effective and that he's going to get that much, but... I mean, he is going to start picking off an Archon in a moment or two. A couple of Archons are low, so... This is going a lot better for Rex than I was imagining it at all. This is going a little bit better than expected, as we do see the Roaches and Ravagers still pressing in. Immortals. I mean, this is maybe where it's gone a bit too far, right? When you've got just a couple units left against the Immortals. Now we do have the Nidus up on the left side, though. Nidus into the main base as well. He could just send Roaches out into the main base. As the Locusts are going to go to the natural expansion, so should be able to make something happen. So that's in the main having some difficulties. These probes are going to go down quite quickly. Will he get... I mean, he will get the Nexus as well. Zero doubt about that, actually, once he started. As long as he did start at some point to target fire it. Rex currently going to deal with the Zealots in the main, but could, again, Nidus some Roaches into the main base shortly, too. Warp Prism's back in the main. The Queens are nearby. Another Nidus will start in the main base, but there's Immortals near. I mean, this game's getting scrappy, which is what makes this dangerous. That Warp Prism does survive, if only just. Spore Crawler is going to burrow. Spore Crawler gets the shot. Warp Prism gets shot down. He actually loosens his presence across the map. And this game's getting crazy because Rex is making something happen out here. He is on the aggression, and I don't know why you would send up just half of your Locusts there. Why not just go for all of them? It makes really no sense not to just pop them all up. I mean, that was a lot of Locusts popped as well to not do much. And now they're not even still moving forwards. He's looking to cancel that Nexus on the natural again as these Locusts come in. I mean, much for your Locust. He's going to get this pylon. Will he get the Nexus? Now he's not target firing, so he will just wander towards Immortals. Pushing at the front, trying to get an Archon or two. Zealots going to come into buffer as the Storm does a lot to slow this army down. Storm drops again, and Roach Ravager still pulled away. Phoenix able to lift up the Ravager here, and just going to be seeing the Roaches coming forward. Is going to pick away at those couple of Archons as well. Another Storm, though, and Rex, I mean, overall his supply is still looking great. He's been doing some good damage. He's absolutely brought himself back in this game. That's, again, a lot of Locusts used to drop down onto, what, like, a Warping Zealot? Like, that was just unnecessary. That should have been a lot more Locusts out towards this Nexus. I really feel like that's a bit of a mistake, as we will see him unloading from this Nidus there in the natural expansion. The Locusts still pressing forwards. This Army pulling away. I mean, these Locusts won't do much more, but they will get a couple of extra probes here towards the end, at least. So they'll be able to get a little bit of something done. See, this Nexus will drop down. So Nexus falls. Another Storm going down. Zealot's able to pick off the Nidus as well, as we do see Nidus in the corner getting picked off also. 16 Swarm Hosts on the map currently. Now you have more Ravagers that can pop out of here, but Ravagers going to be popping out against Zealots and maybe not quite worthwhile. These Locusts are doing too much. I mean, that's a bunch of units getting taken down. And this is, if you target fire at a dead Nexus as well, there's absolutely no two ways about it. It's a lot of Locusts against a Nexus that has nothing to protect it. Now the third base goes down, and Yashi is only really mining from his main and his fourth. Natural is coming back online, sure, but it's taken a while. And now units are getting picked away at the front as well. What a turnaround this has been by Rex. A very, just a job well done, I suppose. He really felt like he was in trouble on the other side. I love that infest that he just made and never remembered. Apparently the Observer is finding that rather amusing as well. Couple of Zealots getting picked off. See Locust dropping down, and Assimilator going to get picked away at there. I mean, again, this is just Nidus is all over the place, and Yashi just cannot keep up with the pressure at this stage. Rex maxed out, fourth base up. Would like to see maybe just a few drones actually getting off towards the fourth base, because he's not really moved over there just yet. See those couple of Immortals firing, and there goes a Swarm Host or two. So the Swarm Host getting picked off. I mean, that's a nice little something right now, but meanwhile the entire main base has a ton of Roaches in it, and the Yashi has 43 army supply. It's not a lot. Not a lot at all. And I know the High Templar here full of Storm Energy gets taken down as well. I mean, 3 of them get taken down. Fourth base is about to die. The main base is about to die. I mean, Yashi basically has no Nexus left. And that's going to be GG Rex! Gauntlet tomorrow in that final match, the Grand Finals. But for now, let's see you If a team can take the lead, it's Rogue. The blue Zerg in the bottom right side. Up against the red Zerg top left. Impact for game number 1 between the two of them here. Is it bad? I hope Rogue doesn't all kill so I can see Maru. Nope. I'm hoping the same. Maybe they're keeping Maru warmed up and ready just for TSG later. I mean, TSG are generally going to be the bigger threat to Jin Air here. We shall see, as we do have Hatchery first on both sides of the map. This was the one map that Impact was able to win on. Against Solar, he used a very quick, cheeky Nidus all in. That Solar just didn't see coming. I'd be kind of surprised if Rogue didn't see that, though. I mean, you know, the guy is at a tournament you're playing in, you're already in China, what else are you going to do? They have coaches and stuff as well, right, to watch these games. That's the real magic of Jin Air. These coaches are able to watch the games, they're able to relay information to the players like, hey, no, he did this build against Solar on this map. Maybe watch out for this. He also typically throughout that series did this sort of style. You know, maybe give Rogue a bit of an inkling as to how he should play against Impact. As our Overlords fly around the map here in the early stages. Queen's on the way up on both sides of the map as we get this ZVZ truly started for the moment. Get this up and ready to go. As we do just have the Ling Speed starting up on both sides, so Ling Speed coming in at the moment here. Eyes open to see what the follow-ups might be, of course. Yesterday, you know, the other day, Impact against Solar went for a couple of non-baneling builds. Straight of roaches sometimes. He was quite aggressive sometimes as well. So you see a couple Lings on either side running at each other. Speed about to complete here. Baneling Nest will be continuing up as well, and just Lings running around the map. Drone about to finish up from Rogue. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a Ling Bane opening. Pretty much as standard gets in ZVZ for the first few minutes. A couple Lings peel away into that natural expansion here, and they'll just lie in wait as we do have that Ling Speed completing. So, yeah, it feels like mostly both players just want to make sure they've got a couple units up defensively, and then kind of head in towards the Evo chambers already for upgrades. And looks like we're just getting into the next stage of this game without too much problem at all. So the Zerglings of Rogue already jumping on this hatchery on the left-hand side, so they're going to jump in over there. Queens, a couple extra Banelings start up as well. A lot of these Lings from Rogue just running around quite heavily here and just trying to see if they can find an opening. But so far, Impact's defended well, shut this down, and, well, Rogue up about 5 workers is a bit of a difference. Has already started +1, starts the road draw in 2. Does just feel like Rogue has this slight edge in the series at the moment, or in the game. As a single Zerglin goes towards the Baneling, finds no luck, unfortunately. Bane's still running around in the center of the map as our missile upgrades will continue along here. 6 extra drones building from Impact as well, 2 extra Banelings being brought into play as well. Continue onwards. Zergling's going to get a little bit of a surround on a Queen. Baneling goes off to no real success. Not really any damage done. Impact is on the other side as well with some Zerglings. Those drones do get fixed eventually by Impact. Rogue now drops down a couple of workers. He is a little bit fast on the lair. He does get 3 Banelings on the third base. 3 drones on the third base, sorry, with a couple of Banelings. Cyclones of Rogue continue to run around here, and again, so far this Lingbane aggression has pretty much evened out across the board. Slight drone difference here and there, and again, overall it's been evened out. Rogue defends again. In fact, goes for the scout, but doesn't even pick up much info, so as a lag comes up on either side, that is where the game can change, because if one of the players decides to go Spire, that obviously could change up things quite drastically, but I mean, it's not a guarantee that someone goes Spire, it's not a given, it's not a must-do either. This one, missile attack finishing up on the Evo chamber here in a second or two, as we see that Numites Carapace will complete momentarily, so getting that up from Rogue will give him some overload speed, will give him some extra scouting potential, maybe even some drop potential, as Rogue does not skip a second going into that +2 missile upgrade. Straight into it, no problem at all. Merge speed continuing up as the overload from Rogue still in production. Baneling gets one drone here as Impact tries to sneak something by. Attempt to deny the 4th base will be next up from Rogue. There's a couple of units coming out. Not sure if these roaches will be able to actually stop that cancel coming in. Ooh, Banelings will be. Hey, Rogue actually jumped on those roaches. I think that's a mistake. That could have been a cancel on the 4th base, but well, alas. Here we stand as a few Banes continue to morph on the bottom side, and the Spire from Rogue setting up as well. So let's get this Spire up and running. So like I said, it's definitely the time where you can start switching it up a little bit if you fancy it. Or roaches just out in the center. The roaches of Rogue into the middle of the map also. Spire about halfway done. The 2 Banelings. Ooh, 4 drones. Don't know how they got in there. 2 Banelings in the natural as well. Suddenly 9 drones go down. Rogue takes a lot of worker damage. Currently stacking up money to build Mutalisks. That's why he's behind on the supply. Obviously 9 drones doesn't help that, but that's also not going to help either. But it looks like he will get to Mutalisks safely here. Seems like Impact will not be able to make anything happen before then. So Mutas will be out, and that means Mutas give you a lot of play potential, right? You know, if you're doing well with Mutas, it's very hard to then, even if you're like a little behind, there's a lot of potential to come back into the game, is what I'm trying to say. Nidus Network drops in from Impact, so he's actually, I think with that Overseer, scouted the Spire. And if he scouted the Spire, he might just be looking to go across the map and try and kill. Obviously with the Nidus Network, you can get across the map quickly, so it takes away that portion of the game where the Mutalisk can deal damage to your army as it flies across initially. And it gives you that retreat potential too. Contaminate drops down. This is absolutely Impact looking to strike, but Contaminate actually hit the +2 missiles of Impact, so that's slowed as well. So he's currently missing that upgrade. Impact dropping down a Hydroden, building spores. Maybe he didn't know about this. Maybe he was actually just preparing for the Nidus Network just to be aggressive in general. Anyways. Alright, well, these Mutas are coming in and pick off a Queen or 2. So the Mutas doing some damage across the map. I mean, these Nidus is continuing to come up. Rogue with the Mutas across the map here, as we'll see the Roach Ravager army of Impact is being chased away. The Muta's going to get on those for maybe another couple of kills. Rogue is really pushing forwards quite aggressively here. I mean, again, those Mutas can absolutely pick away at a couple of the Ravagers. Still, Nidus is being dropped around the map on the other side, and so Rogue has to keep on top of that while being aggressive. He's going to get 1, 2 Ravagers now. That last Ravager is super low as well. You can see Rogue's just repositioned for another fight. He doesn't really have the numbers here, though, Rogue. Mutas will actually be in a little bit of trouble as Hydras start to come out. Is there enough Hydras? It seems like there will be. The Mutas have to pull back to the rest of the army. And that's a pause. As Impact says it's a little bit laggy. Just had a couple of lag pauses today. Hopefully nothing too major. Witches and Ravagers Rogue up the left-hand side as we get back into this. Impact is quick to respond. Good defense. Still trying Nidus across the map, and actually that Nidus is up and running, but Rogue has plenty to shut it down as that picture-in-picture comes into play. Rogue will quite easily defend this Nidus, it would seem. There's a couple of them up, but both of them go down. Rogue still with this army on this left-hand side as well. Impact's losing units. Rogue is maxed out with a bank to play with. Compared to Impact, he was currently rocking 11 less drones, 10 less army supply, and no bank at all. So, not looking good in that regard, is it? Really not looking pretty as we see the Queen tagging the Overlord on the right-hand side. We're just going up against each other, and I mean, now Rogue's trying to Nidus his way into that main base. A few of his units here caught out of position, and Impact will be able to pick up a couple of kills. Still seeing the Nidus dropping down on either side of the map. Mutalisks flying in. They're going to jump in towards these Hydras, so Hydras are going to actually take some losses here. I mean, actually, it loses him quite a lot of his Mutalisks. Sure how great that really was. 7 drones have gone down in the meantime. Roach harassment continuing. Rogue's up on that burrowed play as well. And now he's going into the Lurker Den too. Rogue is actually just killing it in this game. He's doing everything. It feels like Rogue is everywhere. He's harassing. He's defending harassment. He's teching. Like, Rogue is just finding damage, you know, damage point after damage point, entry after entry. What is going on? This is crazy so far. Obviously out to the left, we're going to see the cancel in the main base as the Spine Crawler able to keep picking that away. Infestation pit starts up. These drones going to be taken down. 6 workers. Ooh, nice catch from Impact. Rogue found burrowing some roaches forward, so we'll take a couple of losses here. As out to the right side, those roaches actually might find the 4th hatchery. Rogue arrives a few moments too late, so Impact finds a kill. Suddenly Rogue is down a base, but does have a bank to play with, so that's not as influential as if he didn't have a bank. He will lose these roaches. Nothing more gained as he just burrowed them, but there was Overseers already nearby. Rogue's attempt to deny this in the main, denied. And Impact actually on the offensive now as he comes around the bottom side of the map. Wrapping around here and see what he might do. So some more roaches out from Rogue as you see the Roach Ravager is in the middle as well. That one Ravager here from Rogue gets picked off. These units continuing up, and you want to see those Lurkers pressing forwards. They're going to, well, first one going to get killed off right away. Those other Lurkers are going to burrow up too. They're going to get taken down. Hey, Rogue's in some trouble here. He's actually losing all of his Lurkers really quickly in this fight. He's got one now that has survived. The second one coming up as well. In the end, Impact just can't continue target firing this. The meters across the map get taken down in the picture-in-picture. These couple of Lurkers need to make a stand here somewhat as Rogue is in some trouble. He's spending his bank, and now it's actually Impact who has more money left over because, well, you've got to remember that Rogue has lost that base and lost mining there for a little while. Impact has Lurkers of his own that was actually fighting in all of that as well. And this game getting crazy as these Roaches, Ravagers, and Hydras will press forwards. Where's Rogue's detection? His Overseer ran away. Oh my god, he's not going to be able to take down this one Lurk. Okay, the Overseer did come back. The Overseer didn't go down. It's so low health, though, as he cancels the other Lurker's building. That's an amazing pick-off. Look how low health that Overseer was. If that had gone down, Rogue wouldn't have been able to kill that burrowed Lurk, and it would have continued to do so much damage in all of this. Impact's making this a hell of a game, but at the end of it all, you know, you got to just look at this and accept that Rogue is an absolute monster as Roach Hydra Ravager takes down this Nidus. Man, this is actually being crazy. What a game actually for this CVZ. First map. Remember, the loser of this map is already eliminated, though they will get the chance to still eliminate their opponent in the second map. Nidus into the main base. This has been non-stop. Another one just about to pop up. I think that must be a Rogue Nidus that just popped somewhere. There's a few Roaches on this side, but there's so many Overlords around the map. Impact re-establishing those is really nice because obviously the Overlords early from Impact got pushed back by the Mutalisks, so re-establishing those Overlords in a position which can now see these armies moving around is so important as an attack in the main base of Rogue is being dealt with very handily. It actually turns to fight this Hydra Ravager force for a moment. I mean, they're generally flimsy, weaker units, but yeah, a couple of units actually left here might go down if Rogue realizes that he's probably busy still. And you can see that attack of Impact is running away now, finally from the base. He's going to find another Nidus up on this top side. Gonna see Spine Crawler poking away. Ravager's dealt with in the end, and again, it feels like Rogue is still trading well. I'd love to see the resources lost in this game. Feels like Rogue is just trading that much better overall, but Impact's actually down on workers as well, so maybe actually Impact's trading a little bit better, but Rogue's just had that income advantage. Perhaps that's how this is looking, as we do see more corrosive bars dropping. 4 drones dead. We're just pressing forwards. This army of Impact still at the front here. We won't need to fight forwards. There goes a Ravager, knocked down very quickly. Ravager's pressing in. A couple of corrosive bars dropping down. Two Lurkers will take some damage. Rogue able to clean up these Lurkers is really nice. It takes away one of the real strengths of this army of Impact. I mean, it's been such a scrappy game. You'd love to get Hive and Vipers up against Lurkers, but how on earth do you get Hive and Vipers in a game where you've not had a minute or two without a fight happening? It's been absolutely non-stop this CVZ. As we're going to be seeing the Lurkers burrowing up again. Rogue back to 185. Supplies closing in on max and out as Impact. Here's Impact's issue now. He is still on 4 bases. His 5th base was denied. And the 5th base of Rogue in the top right is not hit by Impact at all, despite it being quite easy for Impact to go through that top pathway and to make his way towards that. Plus 3 missiles. Adaptive Talons coming in from Rogue, but we don't see any Vipers still. Maybe he just feels like he doesn't need them because it's not a stupid number of Lurkers just yet. He's got Roaches in the main base, so he looks to defend here as well. Lurkers repositioning for him as Roaches pick off the spawning pool. And he'll continue to deal some damage as units pop out to try and defend that. Rogue on the defensive over here is going to run out of units bar the Lurkers, so he might take some damage as well. I mean, his Evo Chamber of Plus Priona is in danger there. The Roach Roaring itself is troubled. Those Lurkers continue to try and hold on as Rogue is picking his way through the Roach Roaring of his opponents, so reinforcements from Impact are going to be halted soon enough. And as reinforcements come out from Rogue here, he will start to push this attack back. Impact is pushed back down this ramp, and Rogue holds on. While dealing really good damage across. He doesn't quite kill the Roach Roaring in the end. So that Rogue morphing Ravages, I feel like that is a misclick. He's going to cancel those. And probably morph them in back on the other side of the map instead is probably where he wanted to build those originally. Those Roaches back over the left-hand side. Nidus in the shot picked up. There's a couple Niduses in this main, which is where Rogue's been streaming those Roaches out of. Roaches on the right taking the watchtower. A couple Overseers flying overhead as well, and just going to be seeing these Roaches of Rogue still pressing in. A couple of drones in some trouble. Lurker down here. Oh, sorry, Lurker here will get picked off. These Roaches being picked away as well. 7 drones getting taken down, and this Roach Ravager army from Impact will chase it away. But again, look at Impact's work count. 43, 30 workers down from Rogue. Rogue maxed out, and that's the difference here. Finally, Rogue has just weathered Impact down to this point where Impact really doesn't have that much left. Rogue corners this army of Impact on the top right-hand side. It'll be the final fight. In fact, Ephemera. Rogue in the bottom right. Impact in the top left. Impact, if he wins this map, he can still take a point for Team LP. But if he loses here, Rogue will stay out. A point for Jinner. And Rogue stays alive to play against Patience, who will be the next player from Team LP, of course. So in this game, we are going to see the hatch gas and pool out of Rogue. Impact will go hatch Sorry, a hatch gas pool out of Rogue. Impact will go hatch pool gas, so a little bit of a later gas here from Impact. Slight difference, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Some laughing in the crowd as we continue to set this up. So we're seeing the Evo chamber on the way out. It's going to be finishing in a few moments' time. So Impact's going to go for a upgrade before his link speed. Will that be probably melee? Evo chamber's timed out for it to be melee. Doesn't have the gas yet for carapace. So he will, if he goes hatch gas pool and goes Evo chamber, he will have the gas for carapace when the Evo chamber finishes. But it's going to be a melee upgrade early from Impact. Then he'll get ling speed, and those upgrades will then typically line up for quite a strong +1 ling timing. And just some general ling aggression in the game. See how that goes as the lag coming in on the natural. A couple of these queens pressing forwards into the center, going to be going after an overlord. As we see the Evo chamber dropping down, link speed, +1 melee. Those upgrades continuing here, so Impact continuing to get ready for this attack as Rogue has actually gone no link speed. He's gone straight to lair. So Rogue is actually going to play no third base into roaches directly. This could be trouble for Rogue. It depends how solid his wall-off is. It depends if he can get roaches up. Here's the thing. Roach Warren should finish as link speed kicks in, so he should be able to start building roaches. The question is, can he then get enough roaches out to hold off what Impact is doing? Impact will fake a roach run and an Evo chamber at the front to make this look normal. And look at this. He's even denying vision here by pushing this Overlord back across the map. So I think Rogue's in some trouble because, I mean, his Rotron, okay, his Rotron's going to finish Baneland Nest now from Impact 2. He will be walled off. Can Impact break through this? He's stacking all of those lings in the main base. Rogue has zero way of seeing this until just now. He's gone Overseer flying towards the main. But even then, he doesn't see the lings that are starting to move out onto the map. Rogue is building Overlords at the moment. He needs to build Roaches ASAP here. He needs units that can push back these Zerglings. If Impact can win this game, Rogue and Jin will be losing another life. There you go. Ling's pushing forwards here. Probably needs to re-wall on the, behind that queen, so Evo Chamber drops down there immediately. That will give some surface area to the front. +1 missiles will probably go down, which means you will never get to that two-shotting of these Zerglings, which is, of course, a shame. Roaches starting to come up now, though, and they are somewhat well-timed to be able to make this happen, and they are walled off as well as, oh, well, the Lings get a bit of a surrounding here. Few drones pulled as well. The Roach Warren survives. Rogue holds. Great defense by Rogue in the end. Really keep his roach speed. That's kind of important to know, as you can see Rogue is thinking about a third hatchery, then says, well, you know what, there's probably still a lot of Lings on the map, so maybe don't want to go over there too quickly. Lings running around at the front as we poke around a little bit. Nidus Network is coming in. +1 missiles starting on the Evo Chamber as well. Man, this really felt like it was maybe Impact's moment, but Rogue responded perfectly with that wall off. The way he set it up was a job very well done. As we do see the Nidus coming in on the top side. And you know what? Impact doesn't see. You know, Nidus is such a great counter to these Speedling builds because the Speedlings really rely on being able to stop you ever moving out. But if the Nidus comes up, then, well, you know, then you're going to get a fight no matter what, right? As Rogue, so, you know, he is going to go back home because the Lings are going to go counter. Interesting. So he will bring the Roaches back home. It hasn't cancelled the third base just yet. We're just going to go after that hatchery. The Ling is actually going to start getting a surround here. Remember, if that melee upgrade, that surface area will do a lot. Third hatch looks as though it will get killed off, though. Balins out in the center as we're going to be seeing Balin Nest starting up here from Rogue. So, I mean, a couple of Balins will obviously go a long way to help out. I love the fact he's getting finally a new Roach Roaring somewhere so that he can continue to build roaches once that Roach Roaring at the drop eventually does go down. It's kind of just expected at this stage, I'd say. Oh, look at this. Rogue is even going to re-wall the front, knowing that that Roach Roaring is obviously going to be the target. Bane's just going to press forwards here. We're just going to see the Banes are going to go and blow up what they can. I mean, the Roaches take a bit of splash damage. The Lings trying to force their way through this. There's one Bane left as a couple of Banes of Rogue are trying to find their way in towards this. And the Balins of Rogue get in, and that does so much damage. Even the Carapace won't see it. Game number 1 between Rogue and Patience is ready to go. Nice limited amount of downtime. I'm a fan of that. As in the top left-hand side from Jin Green Wings, the blue Zerg player is Rogue. Patience in the bottom right from Team LP. The scoreboard on the top will show up in a moment. And you can see that Jinner have 3 players, 3 lives remaining against Team LP's 2. Patience and whoever they choose to revive. See who that may be soon enough, hopefully. Well, my spicy wings. Okay, guys, can we stop talking about food? You know, here I am. I have no food. Currently listening to you guys talk. I mean, I've just had to watch KFC for the entire break. Yeah. User coming in with the 18-month resub, the year and a half. Still here despite no free food. Where is my free food? I mean, look at that 18-month resub. You could have bought, like, KFC 3 times at least. KFC every half a year. Does that sound fair? Is that kind of level of, you know, is that kind of level of, oh, this works for us? Once every 6 months I buy you guys a KFC. Yeah. Thank you for the 18 months, dude. Appreciate it, as always. Simon X Core. Dropping down. User with the 1,000 bits as well. Thank you so much for your generosity. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. 18 months, 1,000 bits. Next, you're going to be telling me he watches the ads as well. Crazy. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. As we do have this PVZ setting up. Let's talk about this game, though, because this is already a robo facility early on from Patience. No Twilight Council, so he's looking for the robo-based opener. Can absolutely mean some kind of aggressive build order here. I mean, we see a lot of attacks that come off of this robo. Patience just needs one map to at least eliminate Rogue, even if he gets eliminated himself. I say that, though, but then, I mean, you know, you've got Jinner who can send out Trap, SOS, Maru as follow-up players. I mean, it's still kind of crazy, right? It's still kind of crazy. As we set up into game 1. Forge is going to drop down, so actually Patience, maybe, I mean, this already sort of looks towards something more like a +1 immortal attack. You know, almost like a +1 immortal sentry all in or so. We'll see how many probes he goes up to. Watch for the gas timing as well. That should come up in the next 30 seconds or so. Let's just see Nubater's Carapace coming up on the natural expansions. Again, that Nubater is ready. Let's see, it is about to pop. That is... well, I don't want to be mean about Patience's wall, but that's not quite the best wall we've seen on Winter's Gate before, to say the least. More Prism continuing down to the bottom side here, the Overlord hanging out. Overlord flies in towards the natural. A couple of sentries are going to nibble away at the Overlord for the moment. We're just going to continue. In towards the main base. Again, a couple extra gates dropping down, watching to see what happens here for Patience. Only 3 gases. So I'm pretty sure he's going to cut probes around about now. And probably just commit to this immortal attack. 3 gases, not 4. Makes it just, I mean, Protoss love gas, right? So to only build 3 of them rather than all the possible ones really suggests something a little bit cheeky from Patience in the near future. Immortal drops down, lifts back up. Prism is back around into the center here. More roaches on the way out. Nexus will drop down on the 3rd base, and that's going to be a pause from Patience. Got a few pauses today, guys, unfortunately. Not sure what's going on, just maybe lag issues again. What do the red and blue mean next to the team names? Those are the number of players / lives each team has left. So, Jin Air Green Wings have 3 lives left because they went 1-1 in the first match, so they lost Rex. But then Rogue went 2-0, so he's still alive, whereas obviously it's the other way around. You know, Team LP went 1-1, so they lost a life, and then they went 0-2, so they lost another life. So, it's essentially 3 lives left for Jin Air, and 2 lives left for Team LP. I think it's the easier way to discuss this format rather than saying, oh, you know, Jin Air are up 2-1, which they are. They're up 2-1 in terms of points, but it's easier to think of it in terms of lives. They handed out drinks too? Yeah, of course. You're not going to get KFC box without drinks. GSL does the most miniature cans of Pepsi I've ever seen. It's really quite something. Yes, free KFC for the audience, guys. Ling Roach Ravager building from Rogue. Preparation for this attack. I mean, 60 army supply at the moment against... Well, a Patience who is now dropping a Twilight Council has recently taken his 4th gas. Very interesting. I mean, Patience, looks as though he's going to back away. Looks as though he will just take the 3rd and transition, probe it up. Starts +1 armor because the Twilight Council wasn't done, although, honestly, I kind of feel like I'd prefer him just to go for the +2 attack. I mean, Twilight Council's done now, right? You're missing like 20 seconds of upgrade time. Roach Ravager from Rogue. Gonna go get aggressive. I mean, Rogue says, I've built these units, I may as well put some use to them. So he'll take them through the center of Winter's Gate here, as Patience is looking to see what he can find with those 2 hallucinated Phoenix up the left towards the main base. And we're just gonna start cleaning out this first set of rocks. I mean, this is nice as well. Generally, this is gonna open up the map for you, even if you don't make use of this right now. As he is, you know, teching into Baneling Nest, will want to get Bane speed, going into Infestation Pit 2. Even if you don't make use of this now, it's absolutely usable at a later point. I actually really like this. He leaves the rocks up at low HP, so Patience can't suddenly chase him down right away here. But also, it's still going to be very easy for him to take those down if he needs to at some stage, to then, you know, open up the map there. I like that. That's actually a cute little play. Overlord going to get picked off there, as that is going to be Patience. Able to find something on the map, moving out to the left side a little bit, and well, Rogue's allowed just going to +1/+1 melee upgrades, going towards the Baneling speed. Getting that set up, ready to go, as we do see the blink about halfway done right now. Robo Bay, second facility from Patience, so I always feel like going Robo Bay at this stage is so risky, though. It feels as though Rogue has a great army, and what do you have to really stop that? You know, not really much. And it's going to take you a long time to get to a decent number of Colossus, and Disruptors are kind of questionable. Very hit and miss against this Ling Bane focused army. I mean, I know there's a lot of Roach Ravager right now, but it is going to become Ling Bane. Some Banes will try and roll by into this mineral line, and they will not do much. Only +1 melee upgrading still, right? No +2 melee. So that's the point where you one-shot those probes with those Banelings. Prophets of Bowers force the War Prism to dodge. Hive building. This army coming back around the left. Being Ravager. Joining together as we will see a army of Patience through the center of the map. Jimmy is picked off, and again this army back down to the bottom right-hand side. Ling, Ravager, Bane still setting up here. +2 melee on the Evo Chamber. Ultra's Cavern starting up. The Adrenal Glands will start as well. 3 more Vipers coming up as the Nexus will drop. 4th base starting to be established. I mean, these Blink Stalkers have absolutely been a more kind of kind of a way to kind of play this game out rather than just playing charge lots. It's been a style that has had some value lately. This hatchery might get, well, straight up killed off. Not even a cancel there. Oh, some Banelings find sentries though. Rogue. Maybe they'll deal some damage. More Overseers on the way out. The Ultra's Cavern is about to complete, so Rogue going into Ultras is obviously not the normal choice, but you know what? I'm interested. Although I do feel like the Stalkers have a good chance of dealing good damage against those Ultras. Stalkers, couple of Mortals, couple of Colossus continuing to come up to the top, naturally. Will get picked off here, so Rogue, well, he's still expanding down the left. I don't think he's too upset about that. He has Vipers now too, so he can pick off those Colossus more easily. I see Patience pops a couple hallucinations to try and really scare Rogue here. If he can, if he abducts the wrong Colossus, that could work out. Patience, he really wants to attack in from this side. He's really committed to this, so here we go. First soldiers are coming out. This is not a pretty position from Rogue, all from one side. Gets a couple of force fields. Banelings roll into the mineral line for 7 probe kills meanwhile, so Rogue still being aggressive elsewhere. Here we go. You can see those Vipers are looking for the abducts. Yoink on Colossus number 1. It will eventually go down. Took a little while though. Patience, his supply is dropping quite a lot here. Rogue's isn't really moving too much. It's still not a pretty spot for Rogue, having to engage into this little position as he's doing. It's a little bit clumped up. Stalkers are going to blink forwards. I feel like a lot of Rogue's units are in production at the moment, and they're not actually here yet. Stalkers blinked in. The Ultra got a lot of damage done because of it, and the Lingers are going to stream in. I mean, once the Colossus are dead, Lingers are going to be an amazing counter to all of these Stalkers. Now some Zealots warping in as well. We see the Ultras going down, but even those Zealots do not stand much of a chance quite yet, as Rogue is going to clean up Patience and Team LP. Well, they're going to be down to their last life when Patience drops out of this game, but Patience can still have a chance to shut down Rogue at least and take him off the playing field from Janair. Extra Zealots warping in on the right-hand side. As we're going to be seeing Rogue is closing in on maxing out. Ravager gets picked off on the top. 2 Ravagers picked off on the top. Here you go. Lings and Ultras going to see where they can go. This Ultra going to get picked off, and, well, I mean, sorry, this Colossus is going to get picked off by the Ultra, and that's... It is Ephemeron, yes. I thought the rocks were watchtowers from the big screen. Obviously not. I was like, what map has 4 watchtowers on it? So there's Ephemeron. Game number 2. Of Rogue versus Patience. Patience really feels like Team LP's run in this playoffs are starting to end if he doesn't win a map here. Game 2 of this series. I mean, Team LP runners-up last season, they had a hell of a run. They very nearly became champions. But they just couldn't quite make it. And here it looks like they might just finish in 5th place. Remember, prize money is already earned for being top 5. Pretty much everyone in the league got prize money. But $2,800 up for grabs for finishing in this 5th place position. If you win here, you go up to $4.2k, with obviously TSG to play to try and make top 3 for $5.6k. $7k second place, $14k for first. $42,000 up for grabs in this event in total. It's a sizable prize pool. And this is a good prize pool. You know, it really makes these teams take this league very seriously, and they really do take it very seriously as Rogue goes into a super fast roach run against what is a cannon currently building in his natural. So, Patience doesn't see the fast Roach run from Rogue. The fact that Rogue went gas pole hatch is amazing for him here, because it's actually pretty crazy if you think about it, right? Like, he decides to go gas pole hatch. Patience is already saying, oh my god, well, it's not even a hatchery first, so I'm just going to start building my Nexus early on. Which makes a lot of sense, right? You know, Jenna is in this position, you know, Patience is in this spot where, okay, he's like, okay, well, I'm not going to get too much done over time. Better to just already, you know, expand to the future. I mean, if he can do something across the map, that's great, but, you know, Rogue's already committed some of his economy towards potentially being aggressive in this game. Spine crawler. Continue to poke away at the pylon. Another spine going to press forwards here. And just going to see the couple of cannons pressing forwards, and some damage to a Roach. A couple of Roaches and a Ravager picking their way through this pylon here. This hatchery goes down. I mean, Rogue just not quite able to defend that. 13 army supply against 2. The problem is with a cannon defense, cannons are so easily corrosive powered down. I'm just going to see these units from Rogue pressing down at the bottom right hand side, and I don't know what Patience does to defend this here. A couple of shield batteries on the way up. Maybe that can buy enough time on that cannon, but these Ravagers can just sit here and drop biles for days. And that's kind of the issue. Does that hit the cannon? Oh, one of them does. You can just drop biles for days and harass, and obviously shield battery energy is already going to start being used. He actually cancels the second shield battery. Rogue is morphing in 2 more Ravagers though, so I'm not quite convinced about that. He takes double hatchery back at home. It's not like he's rallying more units across, but still feel like that second shield battery might have been nice. I mean, Patience sees it now, and he starts the shield battery up again, right? I think he's realizing that this might have been a little bit preemptive from him. Corrosive Biles are going to go down, but Trino on the Cyber Core. There's no Warp Gate this game yet. No Warp Gate upgrade started either. Maybe that is just the goal here of Rogue, trying to delay that as much as possible. Those Ravagers will run. 3 Stalkers now is a little bit more sizable, and he will turn and actually might get a Stalker. Gets one. One Ravager brought low. Rogue pulls that one towards the back. Rogue is currently having a pretty good time here. Finally loses one Ravager, should lose another, but for a Stalker, still feels worthwhile as he'll push forwards and probably just drop another couple bars. Remember, Patience has no Warp Gate still, so, you know, as this game continues on, Patience is playing a game where, you know, following up from here is going to be a huge, huge difficulty. Couple Ravagers still moving around, seeing where they can go. Stalker's still chasing those Ravagers back, but overall, I mean, again, I think overall it's been a job well done here as the Warp Prism being Corona boosted. 5 gates added in, but what are 5 gates gonna do when you don't have Warp Gate? Patience starts Warp Gate now. Oh, Patience, no. That is a disaster. That's not how this is meant to happen at all. Oh, Patience. It's one of those games where it's just a little bit weird, a little bit funky, and that's so frustrating. No Warp Gate. I mean, now he drops the Twilight Council, but there's no way he was meant to be doing this. Another gateway dropping in on the natural expansion here, so setting that up as we do see these 2 Stalkers sitting at the front. Might have delayed researching because Rogue was piling down that Cyber Core. I still feel it's worth starting though, because if he doesn't get the Cyber Core, then I don't know. Patience seemed pretty confident that he was going to hold on anyways. I mean, either way, researching it after you've added on 5 gates, what have those 5 gateways done? Nothing, because there's no Warp Gate. So it's absolutely, I mean, even if it was kind of waiting, he then has absolutely forgotten to start afterwards. As we do see the Forge researching that +1 attack. Couple units arriving here from Rogue. He's only on 37 drones. He's built a heck of a Roach Ravager army, and it kind of feels like this is pretty much going to be the all-in to end this. 3 gases from Rogue. No intention of attacking up. 2 base saturation, not even. As he's just going to go for this in the next couple of moments. I mean, Gateway at the front falls down. It's just become a warp gate. That warp gate was finally living its dream. And now it's taken down just like that. Extra defense is being set up here from Patience, who is probably going to lose his Forge and his +1 attack. You can see those couple of Immortals coming in. First battling the Cyber Core. Now you can see a new Cyber Core being built. The Feelings will commit into this. Looks like Lings are going to commit through, and Rogue's going to try and see what he can get done. That +1 attack should get denied. I mean, it's Chrono Boosting away. Rogue should not let that finish up. Patience is going to hold here. He does at least lose the Forge, so Rogue gets that for himself. So that +1 denied. And now Dark Shrine coming up. Patience might be able to get aggressive, although Rogue on his way towards a lair. Well, Patience survives. I mean, it's a good hold. In the end, the defensive structures he built helped him out a lot. Man, he very nearly even managed to get the +1 attack upgrade finished. That would have been really impressive if the +1 was able to come in and join up with the rest of that. That would have been really crazy. How did he know? I don't know if he knew per se. I think he was just a little bit lucky with when he decided to kill off the Forge more than anything else there, as we do see morph from DT into an Archon to save it. Recall it back home, so that's a nice save. At least keeps an Archon alive. Patience needs everything he can get at the moment. His army supply is up a little bit. You got to remember, Rogue was quite committed to this attack. As the Immortal here going to pick up a couple of drones. More Corrosive Bars dropping down. Good dodges by that Warp Prism. Warp Prism comes all the way up the top side. Sentries here. Spire dropping down. So units back over towards the natural and seeing what else might happen here. Spire, Roach Speed still on the way. Still just a couple of Immortals wandering around here. Going to unload, and a couple of creep teamers. Ravager's going to go try and pick those Immortals off. Rogue's still struggling along a little bit here. 13 drones ahead, yes, but this army from Patience is scary. I think Patience might have a good shot of taking Rogue down, and that would be a sigh of relief, if only a little bit, from Team LP. At least they get another point on the board. Archon added in here in the back, and it's a lot of Ravagers. It's scary, but those Ravagers are squishy. They go down quickly if you let them. Army back out into the center. 5 Roaches on the way up. Disruptor being produced. I was going to see the Ravagers coming up to the top side again. Blink about halfway done, +1 attack. Halfway done as well. Couple of changes are going to get taken down. Mutalisks will be on the way from Rogue, a way to maybe try and stretch this game out, draw it out a little bit as well. Roach Ravager army. Gonna wait some of these rocks here over on this left-hand side, knocks those down. We'll take a push down to the bottom side of the map. A couple of sentries, a couple of zealots joined up. Disruptor drops down, picks back up again, but back and forth here. Patience really looking for those disruptor shots to find some money shots. I really feel like maybe Patience missed an aggressive opportunity, but it's so hard to judge Roach Ravager sometimes, as we do see 2 Ravagers picked off here. We're just going to jump on that War Prism. I mean, this Disruptor's already fired, so it's going to go down. It's a nice pickup. I mean, the Muta is able to pick away at that Prism. It's an amazing little something here as Rogue. 183 to 143 supply. It's drawn this out into a game which feels a lot more winnable than it was a few minutes ago. I mean, Patience's army is still getting better. Now going into Colossus. But especially with the Mutalisks, Rogue gives himself so many options as to what he can do. Yes, the Roach Ravager on the ground is not exactly amazing, and maybe he has to do something there, but again, with the Mutalisks, a lot becomes very possible very quickly. Muta's back over the right-hand side. A couple of Colossus still building, +2 attack, extended thermal lance. Will continue to come into play. Cannon will fire a shot or so off on towards Mutalisk, which will deflect them for the moment. I mean, Rogue isn't finding a lot of entrances, but he is going to be able to put himself in a position here where things are looking good. Patience's keycap has fallen off. I mean, that's new. That's a new reason to pause. My keyboard has fallen apart, quite literally. Looks as though we're going to get resumed here pretty quickly. Patience. Using those F keys a little bit too much right there. How do you hit your keycap so hard during a game of StarCraft that it comes off? That's really something else. We should be back in game. Those mutant numbers are really rising up here. I'm gonna go and try and pick off a Stalker or two, but I mean, it's a Stalker that blinks backwards. He doesn't quite find the Mutalist just yet. Now he does. Pylon, now a couple of Stalkers will start to drop. There's a cannon here as well, and it continues to defend this. A couple of hallucinated Phoenix being shot away at. Gonna bring this one back up in towards the main as we do see Bane, Roach, Ravager coming around the right-hand side. I mean, the Balin's obviously a nice introduction here, something that can really help against this army. I mean, he's got a Spire, so against Colossus, he could build Corruptors if he feels the need. That's typically what you do against Colossus, build those Corruptors up so you can take them down during the fight and put yourself in a better spot. Just coming around the bottom, and gonna go after that assimilated, no real luck so far. As we do have Roaches looking to hit this fourth base at the same time. The Mutants are going to come in with them. Roach is just going to start targeting the Nexus. The Mutants are out of there. Now Rogue is going to send some of his army down the right side. As Patience tries to take a fourth base, this opens up whole new opportunities of being able to pull the Zerg player, pull the Protoss player around, right? You know, now Patience will have to split his army up a lot more than before. DT walks past the Baneling, so Patience knows those are coming, but those are warping in Stalkers that are going to get some damage dealt to them. A couple shield batteries going down as well. And back on this fourth base, the Roach is looking to pick this off. Rogue going into Hive, a lot of money in the bank. Great Aspire would typically be the goal here. Gets the Fork. That's worth the Roaches, right? I mean, keeping Patience away from mine. 14 minutes in the game as well. It is really nice for him. And as we're going to be seeing those Banes going to roll in this time around. Pylon number 1, Pylon number 2, and now the Probes. Tries to wall off with a Pylon there. Last moment, 8 workers down. And Rogue is just bailing his way to advantage here. As we do see Patience army is still scary. Actually up about 20 army supply going into this fight with, well, you know, splash damage involved. Rogue does need something here to hang on to this. Let's see what he can find as he starts to fight. First set of force fields come down. Rogue backs away. Disruptor shot will not land on anywhere in particular, but the Corrosive Biles hit a lot of those Immortals. A lot of the shields dropped across this Protoss army. Mutants are coming in from the back to try and see what they can hit, but again, the answer is not really a lot because there's just so many Stalkers, so much anti-air in all of this. Stalkers will blink forwards. A couple of Ravagers taken down here as well. Another Ravager picked off. Our army. These Mutalisks still moving around. Stalkers blinking in. Mutants still taking some damage. Ling Roach, Ravager Bane. Joining up in the center. Mutants trying to harass, but this army of Patience is still ready to hit. And I don't know if there's enough of an army here. I mean, Rogue's going to try and take the fight, but I don't know if I agree with it necessarily. Let's see what these Banelings can get done. Force fields are now out, so there's none of those left. The Disruptor gets taken down, and Rogue kind of wins this fight a little bit. He pushes this army away at least. The Stalkers are off chasing the Mutants. They were missing from that fight. There's now the Great Aspire coming up. There's Corruptors in play, and Broodlords look as though they will take a position out on this map. So it looks as though Broodlords will get to come out here. So you're going to see those Mutants around the bottom side getting turned away by the Stalkers. He's going to come in for an extra probe or so. Patience is still doing all right. The question is, does he have a response to Broodlords? Well, he's got 23 Stalkers on the map, so there is something there for him. Let's see what Rogue can get up. He's got 1.5k, 1.5k to spend. He just spent a chunk of it. I imagine that's Broodlords now morphing. 5 of them, actually. And now the rest of the money goes on to 25 Banelings. A lot of those Banes actually going to harass this mineral line, though. Again, Rogue has done a great job of keeping Patience with his economy low and limited. And that's been a big part of why Rogue has stayed in a game which has been very weird and very tough for him to stay in, based on how it's gone from the early stages. Here we go. Banelings into this fourth. Patience has no response. All of these probes will go down. 17 workers And there's Bane's left to roll to the third base as well. So away they go. Rogue cancels that forward hatchery again. Lost that multiple times now. Feels like Patience might just commit to the fight. And not much more. The Disruptor shot will hit Ravagers. It's a nice Disruptor shot, actually. The Stalker's coming into this as well. The Colossus still here. Rogue will lose a lot. Patience loses 15 more workers on the third base, so that gets blown up. But he flings forwards, and there's not enough to stop these Stalkers from reaching the Broodlords. So Broodlords are dropping out of the sky. Extra Zealots are warping in as all of the Broodlords go down, and Patience will take it for Team LP. As we start to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player from Jin Air Green Wings, it is Maru. Top left-hand side, our red Protoss player is Patience from Team LP, their last hope. So here we are again. Rogue eliminated there by Patience picking up a map. Patience gets revived to play this final potential game, and Maru gets sent out. Jin Air are not messing around. They want these wins. They are pretty freaking serious about it. So here we are. Probe is making a play down this right-hand side. So Probe will come down the right to start this off and see what can happen. I mean, it's tough, right? Patience has to 2-0 Maru. Even if he can find one win, he needs another to keep himself alive. Maru absolutely our favorite here. Jin Air looking good to get that matchup against Triumphant Song Gaming in the next round. That will be played today, by the way. That will be played today. As we have the Nexus dropping down into the natural expansion. We set that up. We get that going. So we'll see a little bit of a, well, CC building up there, so getting that ready to go. As you have Command Center, Reaper, STV all on the way out. Also, Whoosh, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Oswevo. 474 in total on the channel, fast approaching the 500 sub-gift badge. Bonkers. Thank you so much for your generosity, as always, dude. So Depth's coming out here from Patience. Obviously, the wall off here to block the Reaper Scout a little bit here on Triton. Maru is sending that Reaper up to the top left. A Probe will come out over to the left as well. Command Center dropping down on the natural, getting that ready to go. Factory building up to about halfway done here, as the reactor is going to be dropping in as well. Adept will chase this Reaper, which hops out down to the low ground and now into the middle of the map as well. Just moving away over there, we see the Twilight Council is going to drop in from Patience. The Adept still moving around to try to see what else might happen. The grenade goes off and the Adept gets a couple of shots off. The Reaper taking a bit of damage there, as it will come for a little bit of damage onto the probes. There is the Adept to make the kill. I mean, it's full scouting information from Maru, though. He knows it's a Twilight Council. He knows what this opening is. He knows already what's going on in these early stages. Just going to be seeing a couple of extra structures in the main from Patience. Nothing crazy, just the Robo follow-up. Everything you'd expect this to be so far. As Maru will just go for the initial Widowmine drop. Second barracks will start, so you can start building into his bioplay already. It's kind of nice to see Jin Air really are just super serious about this, right? Send out Rex first, boom. Rex, Rex does what Rex does. And, then they get Rogue out, and if they need to, boom, Maru as well. They're really taking this seriously, not messing around at all. As you do see the bunker on the front of the natural. A few Marines from Maru are going to continue to press forwards as well. Blink, Robo Facility, I mean, again, everything from Patience continuing on the way now. And you do have those couple of Stalkers between the main and the natural. Raven on the way out from Maru, and there is a couple of Widowmines looking to try and get some damage done as well. The Raven especially, though, suggests the idea of aggression in this game. The idea that this can be Maru going across, interference, matrixing something down. You can see the barracks are going to make way towards the tech labs as well shortly, so first one will start stim, the next will go into combat shields, and it's just that single engineering base, so really aggressive opener actually from Maru gives him a lot of options here in these early stages. So the Widowmine with the med, two Widowmines in the medevac up on the top, as we do see barracks number 3 about to finish up. Stimpack continue to come on in as +1 attack charge. The upgrades continuing from Patience. Looks like he'll play a pretty gateway heavy style off that blink rather than tacking up in towards a Robo Bay or anything. He chooses instead to go charge right away, and again probably just a huge swell of gateways now that he's getting up to 3 bases. Never saw that initial Widowmine drop do much, so Maru's just going to hold that back for the moment. Is just going to fight these few Stalkers, which will blink away as well. Good play by Patience, not losing anything he doesn't have to. There's the Widowmines. Observer was a little slow getting to it, but 7 probes. And the medevac survives as well. Saves one of the Widowmines. I mean, that's just insult being added to injury here from Maru, because now 7 probes get killed off. It's a job very well done, as you see those Stalkers continue out over to the left. Stimpack, combat shields, +1 attack upgrade, all continuing in. 6 extra gates from Patience coming out, as we see our Widowmine will drop into the main, and probes continue to pull back out. Retargets a couple times. The longer you retarget for... Oh, that's nice. He targets onto that probe over there as well for 4 kills. But also the retargeting keeps the Widowmine active, so you don't want to pull your other probes back in, so it loses even more mining time. Maru is off to an amazing start. A really amazing start at that. Dovenwolf with the 2,000 bits. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Very generous. What do you have? Our Bio stemming forwards here. The Stalkers pulling back. First Stalker goes down. Second Stalker taking hits. Is very nearly going down. Not yet. Well, Prism in the main base. Marines are actually going to be caught a bit off guard there. They were there to kind of try and make something happen. Will he target the Prism? No. It's another big warp in as well, as Maru will continue across the map, though. I mean, theoretically, it means that Maru should do very well moving across the map here, as Widowmines are starting to get some damage done on those Zealots as well. We'll see what the warp in looks like from Patience back at home momentarily. The Zealots are now dealt with. Maru loses 9 SCVs, goes straight up into the natural, shuts down 2 gateways immediately, is in the natural mineral line, and Patience, well, that's the issue. He warped in so much across the map, it was always going to be a struggle to defend back over here. Maru already finds 14 workers, which makes up for the 9 workers he's lost. He still has an army going, as these Zealots will just not do anything. The +1 attack against no armor upgrade Zealots is an amazing moment or two for the Terran where they can trade so well. Patience and Team LP on their last lifeline, and it looks as though Maru is going to take it away from them, as we now see the Mortal down from the high ground. I mean, he's just going to lift up and go to the third, where Patience has to evacuate even more probes. Maru is looking as though he's probably going to take this for Jin Air Green Wings and put them in the round 2 of this playoff gauntlet against Triumphant Song Gaming. 22 probes killed, and this Bio army will kick off this pylon. And it looks as though Maru just back into the natural. He's just making a fool of Patience right now, from one side to the other, back to the left. You know, he just will not stop. He will not give in. Oh my god, he drops into the gateways. Kill me now. Well, I guess the Immortal can still reach, but Zealots would not have a great time. I love it. Maru just finding all of the little openings. As we're going to see, Bio continues up to the third base. This Nexus will go down, and, well, maybe it won't go down, but units will be lost trying to defend it, right? I mean, either way, it's not going to end in a pretty manner. Patience knows it. Maru does